this transitional question that Alan poses as to being that key pivotal question that you ask a client, if you could change one thing about your business, one thing about the accounting going on within your company, what would it be? It's astounding to me how often when asking that questions, people will actually, especially if they're just speaking to you, open up and share, well, honestly, this is something I've never understood, or this is something that I thought would be different, or this is something that I could use help with, whether it be interactions with the IRS related to tax situations, or state or payroll tax. Perhaps it's working with the bank in cash flow, or getting a line of credit. Maybe it's actually payroll. There are things that the business owner is experiencing in business that they did not foresee because they got into business because they love what they do, the product or service that they provide, and they didn't see the business nuances that are perhaps involving them now. And what they need is your input, your suggestion. What they may be asking for are one of four key things, and this is what I'd like you to listen for as you're hearing the business owner speak, and you can then be able to pinpoint which of the four it may be and dive a little deeper. The first is cash flow. Oftentimes, cash flow is a tricky thing as the monies are coming in and they're going out, balancing that flow, controlling that flow. And what we want to do is just understand, are they in a cash flow situation where they need some help and consideration as to options? Taxes are that thing that just kind of comes out of nowhere and gets you every time. What we're talking about is where you make the sale and then all of a sudden you forgot that you have this cash flow responsibility, so the tax comes due and you don't have the cash for it, for example, or you didn't realize this tax liability was going to be imposed upon you. What we want to do is help them understand what that is and how we can do more tax planning to avoid these types of things. The next is planning. It's actually business planning, doing a forecast, a budget. It's how do you foresee growing, buying that equipment, hiring that new employee, expanding that office location, buying new inventory. And it's doing the planning to pull the trigger when it's correct, when it's the right time. It's addressing the seasonality of the business. And so the planning is quite critical. If they feel like they're flying by the seat of their pants, then what we can do is provide for them some foundation or some stability to the business decisions they're making. And the last is understanding the reports. Those who are receiving accounting information because they're wise enough to at least pay to have the bookkeeping done, oftentimes don't understand the reports that are generated, whether it be the cash flow, the business, the balance sheet, the income statement. They get the reports. They paid good money for this data to be collected and compiled and now reported to them, and they just don't know what it means, how to interpret the information. They don't know how to make more intelligent business decisions with that information. And so what we want to do with that transitional question, as we're looking at, okay, I've listened to you as to what you do, I'm about to share with you what our services are, but before I begin, I'd just like to ask a simple question. If you could change just one thing about your business in relations to accounting, what would it be? And all of a sudden, just listen for one of those four things to kind of rise to the surface, and now you know where their pain is, and you're going to be able to address it as you now explain your services and how you can help them as a client. This is very key as to them now seeing the relationship between what their current situation is and pain and what they're willing to pay you to help alleviate. So there's your services and their benefit that you're looking for. And just understand this, if you can just listen closely, they're going to tell you what their concerns are that you're able to then address and meet. So keep this in mind. Accounting success is universal. Why? Because business success is universal. Apply these principles and you're going to do just fine. Take care.